Welcome back to the show. I'm sitting here with Development Coordinator and Canadian Paraplegic Association of Ontario participant in the Toronto Wheelchair Relay Challenge, Leander Castleman. Leander, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Sorry, that was a mouthful. Quite the intro. Yeah, thanks for being here. And the relay race challenge is coming up very soon. Can you give us some information on it?
Yeah, the Wheelchair Relay Challenge is our signature fundraising event. It takes place in Toronto at Yorkdale Mall in the north end of the north parking lot.
Yep.
It's going to be on Sunday morning, begins around 9 in the morning and goes till noon.
Okay, that's great. Now, this is something that anybody can become involved with?
Yes, basically there's going to be about 50 teams participating. Every team has 8 members. Some teams, there's community teams, corporate teams that can be made up of able-bodied individuals like yourself, people with disabilities like myself. There can be integrated teams. Every team gets a wheelchair so that they can take a turn doing their lap. So it's an opportunity for people without disabilities to see what it's like to be in a wheelchair for part of the day and how difficult it is even just to wheel one lap around a track.
Yeah, I can imagine. And yeah, giving that other perspective will certainly build some appreciation.
Yeah,
that's great. Now, the course itself, have you seen what the design is like? What can people expect?
It's the same year. It's a very large oval. But there's a very slight slope in the parking lot, but what people soon realize who aren't used to being in a wheelchair is even a very slight slope becomes a huge ordeal to wheel up. And usually the able-bodied participants start out really strong and fast, and by the end of it, they're just dying. So,
they haven't built the upper body quite like you need it.
They're not used to using the same muscles.
Yeah, exactly. Now, how long has the event been going on?
This is going to be our 15th year for the Wheelchair Relay Challenge in Toronto.
Okay,
it's actually grown to the point now where we have it in municipalities across the province.
Okay, very cool. What are some of the other municipalities?
Last weekend we had one in Hamilton and I think Owen Sound. We have them in Barrie, London, all over the province.
Okay, and how many have you taken part in?
This is going to be, I think, my 8th or 9th year participating in the relay.
Okay.
I started out just as a participant, then I later became a team captain, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And how is that? How have you found that transitioning from a participant into more of a leadership role?
It's been fun. I've been able to put together my team, and every year sort of strive to be the fastest team every year, which I've gotten the last few years. But it's been a group effort. I just sort of have a team of ringers, and
there you go, ringers, and you're the secret weapon, right?
No, I wish that I'm not the fastest guy on my team.
No, okay. Well, and what are some of the sort of? Do you do any training leading up to it to prep you for it, or do you give some tips to your teammates?
Most of my teammates are full-time wheelchair users, and basically just the wheeling, just everyday wheeling is all the exercise I need for it. So I don't really prep. I don't really hold tryouts, although some of the staff joke that I do. But but I do want to have the fastest team, so I make sure I pick people who are fast, but who also raise money. Because the money that's raised at the event basically goes to fund the various services that we provide to people with spinal cord injuries and other disabilities. Yeah,
that's great, and I was actually going to segue into that, and thank you for doing that. And that's exactly it. I mean, it sounds like there's a very strong competitive spirit at the event, but that hopefully translates into that same competitive spirit when it comes to the bigger picture, why it's actually happening, and that's for the fundraising, the awareness.
Right.
And so, what are some ways that the money is raised?
Basically, participants get sponsors. You ask people for pledges. We have a website which you can get to by you just Google CPA Ontario, and you can get to our website. And there's a link on there you click on to get to the relay website, and you can pledge individuals, or you can just make a donation to the organization or the event in general. So, for instance, I sent out an email from the relay website asking friends, family members to pledge me, and that's how I raised money. So the 400 or more participants that are going to be there have all raised money. And cumulatively, we usually raise in the neighborhood of $250,000 in the day for the organization.
In the day?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And have you found that over the 15 years, you've been doing it for 15 years, correct?
No, it's been around for 15 years. I've been doing it for about 8 or 9.
For about 8 or 9. So you have been around, I guess, in that time where the internet has become more and more used on a daily basis, and people do their business with it. So has that made it easier using sort of an online type of way of reaching out to people for pledges?
Definitely. It's a powerful tool. We just sort of started using it a few years ago as a fundraising tool for the event, and it's definitely the easiest way to raise the most money with the least amount of effort. So it's a very powerful tool for raising money. It saves you having to go sort of door to door, approach people face to face. Just send out an email blast and wait for people the money to roll in. People pledge you online using their credit cards, and it's very commonplace now.
Yeah, exactly. Are there any challenges you're facing as far as getting awareness out there or getting participants to come out for the event?
Not so much, except that the economy is still not exactly what it used to be. So not just for corporations, but for nonprofits like us as well, it's still a challenge to get the same sponsors back every year for the same amount of money, because the economy is still not quite back to what it was several years ago.
Of course, of course. Okay, well, we'll just give that information to everybody again, and it's happening at Yorkdale Mall in the north parking lot.
Yep.
Okay, and
9 in the morning, this Sunday, September 19th.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being here with us, Leander. I appreciate it.
Thank you again for having me.
Time. Yeah, definitely. Good luck, and I hope your team ends up coming out on top of the race.
I hope so.
Yeah. All right, well, for more information, you can go to www.cpaont.org. That's cpaontario.org. And when we come back, Alana will be in the kitchen cooking with the Annex Hodgepodge. Stay tuned.
I'm in the kitchen with owner of the Annex Hodgepodge, Jenna Ketz. Thank you for being here, Jenna. And of course, we're with Chef Vicky. Welcome, girls.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here.
Now, ladies, what are we cooking today?
Today we're making one of our signature soups, which is our vegan red velvet, which is our take on a borscht.
But love the name.
Yeah, instead of beet and cabbage, it's a beet potato, and it's pureed.
Potato, okay. Yeah. What does that do to the taste?
It's just like a smoother consistency overall. Some people prefer lumps in their soups, but for the purpose of this soup, it's just nicer when it's really smooth.
Okay, perfect. Well, let's get started.
Okay, so we're gonna start off here with our hot pot, and we're gonna get in...
I'm coming over.
Yeah. We're gonna get in 3 tablespoons of olive oil.
Uh-huh.
And then we're gonna chop up 1 onion.
Are you gonna do it, or are you gonna make me do it?
Did you wanna do it?
All right, you know, girls, yesterday I made crepes.
Yeah.
So I might just be pretty good at this.
Now, so we just want to cut it in half.
Yeah, maybe show me how to cut it. Yeah.
Cut it in half, and then just slices down. Yeah.
Does it matter how it's chopped?
It doesn't matter. You can do dice if you want, because this is going to be pureed, and it gets simmered until it's completely soft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, just for people at home, what is the difference between vegetarian and vegan?
Well, basically the difference is vegans don't eat any animal byproducts at all. So no dairies in there. All of the soups that we serve at the Annex Hodgepodge are completely vegan, which really opens it up to the customer base, right? So if you are vegan or vegetarian or you do eat meat, everybody can enjoy these soups.
Wow, you cover all the bases.
All the bases. Actually, the entire restaurant covers all the bases. That is, in essence, why we are called a hodgepodge.
Right. And what's sort of the vibe there?
The vibe in the Hodgepodge is super cozy. We're a small takeout restaurant in the Annex, so hence the name.
Right, yeah.
And we have a couple tables, but we're mostly takeout, and we offer quite an extensive catering menu. A very high-end corporate lunch and dinner catering menu.
Okay, wow.
And yeah, basically what, as I was saying before, we offer for every single person. Something. And we also, all of our soups are gluten-free as well.
Wow, that's great, because a lot of people have sort of wheat allergies and gluten problems, and that, you know, you can't, it's hard to eat out and be able to deal with those. sort of stomach issues. What did you just do there,
So
Vicky?
I just added those amazing onions that you sliced.
Did you hear that? Those amazing onions.
To the olive oil.
I like you already.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
And I crushed up some garlic. Again, you don't have to puree the garlic just because it's not necessary. It cooks for a long time, so just to smash it to get all that oil out of it, toss it into the oil, cook it down with your onions. And to this mixture, we're gonna add some seasonings and spices. So we're just gonna go with 1 teaspoon of kosher salt.
All right.
A half teaspoon of black pepper. 1 teaspoon of curry powder.
Oh, that smells good.
Yeah. And then we're just gonna let this cook until it gets soft.
Okay.
And then once that gets soft, what we do is we add up our roasted beets here. So these are just regular roasted beets that you roast at 420 degrees for 1 hour. And the skin comes right off.
I love beets.
Yeah, so
They're
instead of
delicious.
just boiling them, by roasting them, you maintain all that beautiful red color.
Okay.
And you put that into our soup. And then we've also got to add the potatoes.
Do they need to be cut?
They do need to be cut.
Is that my job?
That will be your job. And I'm going to leave it up to you as to how you want to cut it.
Really? So
Yeah.
again, it totally doesn't matter the chopping.
It totally doesn't matter.
Well, I guess at the end of the day, if it's going to be...
Yeah. Ideally,
into
you
a
want
soup.
it to be relatively the same size as everything else. So this size of a chunk or...
Because that means that it'll cook at the
Evenly.
Same, yeah, evenly.
Exactly.
Now, Jenna, I have a question on the business side.
All right.
Okay, give me the dirt here. Is it true? There's a rumor that you and your ex-boyfriend started up this company. Is that true?
You know what, Ella? I do get this question very often because there was a newspaper article about us. It was called Soup Leads to Dinner.
Okay.
And basically, not quite true. A little bit of truth to it. My former business partner and I met on a blind date.
You did?
Yes, we met on a blind date.
Okay.
And we went out, we talked. And the funny thing is, we really didn't like each other at all. Actually, like, I would never date him. And so basically, the whole conversation around our drinks that we had was surrounding business. And, you know, we just had kind of a similar business perspective, and we decided to go into business together. So
right off the first date?
Right off the first date. 2 weeks later, we opened. And,
that's wild. That is wild.
Yeah. So, you know, it was fun, but after about a year, it kind of became more my thing. So David is no longer with me as anything, but I have Vicky with me, who is my chef, and she's wonderful, and I clearly love her.
I know. I think it's super sweet that you wore that T-shirt. All your staff at home is like, thanks, Jenna. All 2 of them. Oh, there's only 2 people on your staff.
We're very small.
Yeah, we're very
really
efficient. So,
you know, for such a small place, I have to say I've heard a lot about your Madison sandwich. My friends will talk about the Madison sandwich from the Annex Hodgepodge.
Yeah, so I'll show you. We actually have a couple sandwiches here.
Yeah.
So these sandwiches, because I said we do meat as well, we have a homemade roast beef sandwich called the Walmer.
Okay.
This is our Madison, and the Madison is definitely the sandwich in the shop.
Right.
It has inside of it a chipotle aioli.
Okay.
And then it's got a seasoned tomatoes, grilled chicken breast that's marinated in our own special sauce.
Oh, delicious.
And then we have a sun-dried tomato Havarti on it. And it's seriously, it melts in your mouth.
Oh my gosh. So, and these are all made in the shop?
These are all made to order in the shop. You can get them with super salad. We have beautiful triple creme brie spinach salad.
Whoa.
And that's with candied pecans and sliced almonds. It's beautiful.
Oh,
but
delicious.
We should take it back to
yes, let's see what's going on with Vicky in the soup.
So after I put in your potatoes, I put in 6 cups of our homemade vegetable stock. You don't have to make your own vegetable stock. You can just buy it in the store.
Okay.
Low sodium preferably, so you can control the amount of salt that you put in. So you bring this to a boil, and we're also going to add a secret ingredient, which is 1 tablespoon of honey. And that's just going to enhance the sweetness of the beets. So you just get in your honey.
Now, does it matter? I mean, I know that a lot of soups, they kind of go overboard on the salt to try to bring out the flavors. But is salt really not that important?
It is important because you do need it to bring out the flavors.
Yes.
But I mean, with soups, because it's usually a medley of things, it's really better to let the ingredients speak for themselves.
Okay, and what can you kind of put in a soup? I mean, I don't know. The couple times I've tried to make soup, it's been a little bland. Okay, and then I end up sort of using salt as the default.
No.
So what other things could I put in a soup to kind of?
You can play a lot with herbs and spices, like the way that we put curry powder in this.
So curry powder.
It doesn't taste like curry. It's not a curry soup, but it's a nice background flavor.
So not to be scared of the sort of the
like
taste.
you can experiment with so many things. We could easily put fresh herbs like oregano or thyme in here.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also garnishes do a lot for soups after, like the way we're gonna finish it with a sour cream and green onions with this one.
Okay.
Depending on what your guests prefer, because this is a vegan soup in the essence, but once you put sour cream on it, it's not anymore. Right? So.
But still vegetarian.
Yeah, still vegetarian, exactly.
Actually, Vicki is going to actually take you through how we puree. Most of our soups are pureed. We actually jar all of our soups as well, so you can come down to the shop, pick up the soups in jars, and they're good in the fridge for 2 months. We also have all of our...
zucchini and dill.
Yeah, that's my
delicious.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another. She's put herbs in there, so that really like heightened the flavor a lot too.
Okay.
And then all of our vegan wraps as well are available at the store for bulk. We grill them.
All right.
But yeah, most of the soups are pureed. So Vicki is going to take one of the soups that is actually finished now and puree it for you. If you don't have a hand pureer at home, you can use the blender.
A blender, okay.
That's just
that's the best. So this would be what this looks like after 30 minutes of simmering.
Okay.
And so we're just going to grab our hand blender and puree it until it's completely smooth.
Pureeing it, okay. Yeah. I'm going to get my bowl.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can get right in there.
And it's fairly easy. Like it blends fairly easily. Oh, sorry. You keep doing your thing. I'm not going to touch you.
Just a little longer.
That's okay.
I can actually talk to you if you want.
I think we're done. So, okay, so Vicki's going to keep pureeing while I get my bowl after for the break. For more information, you can go to www.theannexhodgepodge.com for this recipe and many more. Check out our website, www.rogerstv.com/daytimetoronto.